To understand the red pill, you must understand what it's like to be a boy in America. Boys grow up in a society that is void positive masculinity. The closest thing they have to real role models are fictional superheroes. So where are today's fathers and why aren't they raising our sons?
I'll tell you where the fathers are, guys. They're not these deadbeat men that society tells you that they are. They've been forced out of the family unit. Girls are incentivized to break up with men, take the children, take his assets, and then just run along with it. Okay, these people want to pretend like men are just leaving families, just leaving their kids behind. That's usually not the case. Most men really, really love their kid, and they would do anything for them. But you know what happens, guys? They get to see them once a fortnight, and that's that. And then they have to pay child support or whatever else it may be, and they're not able to see their kids. They're forced out of the family unit. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be looking at a couple of things. We're going to be looking at this TikTok festival, and then we're going to be looking at an article that will come after it. And we're going to be talking about relationships and women holding essentially all of the power, because they do. But before we crack into it, guys, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord, link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, be sure to check out the Patreon link in the description. You get access to exclusive videos and other bits and pieces over there. So if you're interested, be sure to check out that link in the description. But guys, we're going to jump back into the video here. We're going to have a bit of a talk about it, and then we're going to jump into today's article.
Feminism has pushed men out of their children's lives. For modern women, the cash and prizes are more appealing due to divorce than staying in a real marriage.
Yeah, because why would you stay in a real marriage when you can take half of his crap, sometimes all of it, take the kids as well, and then leave? And you can do all of these things because the government will just allow it. Like, why the hell not? And then these people want to say, there's been studies and stuff done, guys, on effective raising of children, and the best way to raise a child is with a family unit, right? With a mother and a father there. But single mothers, guys, they raise terrible, terrible children. And we can make a whole video about that, to be honest, but let's keep going.
The men who are lucky enough to live in the same home as their children are emasculated enough by the threat of divorce.
Not even by the threat of divorce, usually just by the threat of the girl leaving. We're at a point in society, guys, now where women have so much options, they have so much choice, and that carries weight in relationships. A girl can walk out the door and have a guy that night at her house or wherever she's at, you know, hotel or whatever the case may be. She can have a guy over very quickly. You as a guy, when you exit a relationship, typically, you're just there by yourself. Nobody really cares, guys. Maybe your friends will talk to you for a few minutes here and there, try and help you get through it, that sort of thing. But beyond that, generally speaking, nobody really cares about men at the end of the day. And when girls get out of relationships, it's all, oh, honey, oh, let's go have a girls' night, just jump back into a relationship within 5 minutes. Usually they have a relationship set up, by the way, guys. If you didn't know that, girls do this thing called monkey branching. Look into it if you're not aware of it. But I mean, these girls just jump from one relationship to the next. So it is what it is, I guess.
They are unable to assume the traditional role of a male in a marriage. Most boys don't realize anything is wrong with their environment until they start trying to pursue women. They play the dating game and lose, because apparently women are repulsed by androgynous men.
Men play the dating game and lose for a bunch of different reasons, you could say. One of the biggest ones is that they're lied to. Okay, men are straight up. There's no other way to put this, guys. Men are lied to about how dating actually works. You can say that men rule society. They get privilege in everything. I would like to see what kind of privilege we're being afforded, gentlemen. I would honestly be curious to see that. But yeah, goodness me.
Being rejected repeatedly is a very painful experience. But the red pill.
Yeah, and men are expected to go through that experience repeatedly, while women sit at the top and then complain about the men that they end up with. But they choose the men. It's crazy.
Pill is a place for men to exchange ideas. The red pill is a guide for men to become masculine because they believe that feminism has robbed them of their masculinity. He goes,
Well, you can definitely make the case that it's trained boys to be subservient to girls. You look at the rhetoric that men are taught from a very young age. It's open doors. It's get flowers. It's help her with this. Help her with that. If you just prove yourself enough, she will turn around and like you at the end of the day. But that's not what actually works, guys. It absolutely isn't. And a lot of the times, it's actually more harmful than good. That might have worked back a long time ago. We got some older gentlemen over here watching the channel. That might have worked back then, but it does not work now. It absolutely doesn't. A lot of older gentlemen who maybe get out of marriages and stuff like this, they step back into the dating scene and they realize, wow, what the hell happened? I used to be able to be nice. I used to be able to be a good person, and that would get me places. But now, I mean, you open the doors, you do all these things, guys. You're a creep. You're a creepy man, and often the difference is how attractive you are, right? As we all very well know.
goes on to write that the young men are asking for help and nobody cares, and it's making them effing angry, and this is why they feel rage towards women.
Guys, that's the end of the video. But yeah, nobody really cares about men, to be honest with you. And the thing is, if you want to, show your emotions, if you want to go through a relationship and you want to be open and honest, and yeah, a lot of the times those things are just interpreted as weakness. Guys want to go out here, be nice, show their feelings, all that kind of stuff. It's often interpreted as weakness. And guys, we're going to jump into this article here and have a brief talk about how relationships typically end up, because I think that men are just fed a whole lot of BS about how they actually work. So today we're going to have a bit of a look at this article here. Now it starts off with the title, "When You're Finding It Hard to Move On from an Almost." Read this. Now this is not a very relatable experience for men. Because men do not, first of all, men are not the selectors in relationships. Men are not out here choosing the girls that they want to date and then go up and ask them and then have a 90% success rate that she's going to say yes to a date or coming over or whatever the case may be. Men are not the selectors in relationships at all. So when you read articles like this, guys, I want you to bear in mind that it is the women making these decisions. They can have their choice of men. The pick of the litter they can choose from. But they're always choosing the guys who, look at this, are just out of reach. Okay, so we're going to jump into this, and I just want you to keep that in mind as we go through. So let's begin here. Almost relationships are potential relationships that never quite get started, but those weird, confusing almost relationships, the ones where it seems like it's all going to work out until now, it doesn't, can often be just as gut-wrenching as a full breakup. Below, we've compiled a few heartfelt reminders and some tough love for any of you who are currently navigating this kind of loss. 1. You're not crazy or silly for not being able to move forward from this. You don't have to date someone to have feelings for them. You don't have to be labeled as a boyfriend or girlfriend for someone to have a special place in your heart. Commitment isn't the only measure of meaning in a relationship. Let me put it to you this way, ladies out there, for the 6 girls watching the channel here. If you do not have commitment, it is not a relationship. It's not. You're not boyfriend and girlfriend. It doesn't mean crap. Okay? A lot of these girls want to go out here. You'll see these girls, oh, I'm a dating coach. I'm a relationship coach, or whatever the case may be. And you look at their finger, guys, and it's empty. No ring, no nothing. Maybe they've had a boy. Typically, the funniest part is like they've had a boyfriend for a few months or whatever the case may be, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's fantastic. I got treated terribly in all of these past relationships, but I finally found a man who I put up my boundaries, and he accepts me for me." I just, I laugh to myself, man. I laugh, and the reason why I laugh is because if they weren't running out of time, they would not have to choose a man like that. You see, what women do is they run out of time and then they choose a guy who will be subservient to them, and then they rationalize it to themselves as though they've done some form of healing. They're not attracted to the guy that follows their every little command and stuff like this. We're going to keep reading the article here in a second, guys, but I just want to point out, like, if you're a dude, excuse me, in a relationship, and you're getting all of these demands like mow the lawn, take out the trash, blah 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 blah, and you're doing these things, and she's kind of leveraging them against you for maybe some bedroom fun or something like that. Um, just realize at the end of the day, this is gonna. I don't say this to be rude to those gentlemen in those situations. She's not your. Sorry, excuse me. You're not her first choice. Those guys that she was having fun with in her 20s and that sort of thing, going with those one night stands, because make no mistake, she probably has been having one night stands before she met you, doing all of those freaky things. Those are the men that she's attracted to. But when she's running out of time, she'll come to a guy with a wallet. She'll come to a guy with some sort of ability to follow what she has to say, she knows that she can manipulate and won't run anywhere. And then she kind of ties her life in a nice little bow and then tries to pump out the family with the 2 years of fertility that she has left, and then she calls it there. No, man, like, guys deserve way more than that, okay? Let's continue with the article, though. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? When your heart connects with someone, it connects with someone. Sometimes that depth is fostered over years, and sometimes you crash into another human being, and despite only knowing them for a short collection of moments, you know that they are going to mean something to you. There are no rules. In other words, when she sees you, she knows whether she's attracted to you or not. Guys, a lot of attraction just comes instantaneously. A girl will know whether she'll date you, whether she'll have fun with you from the moment she meets you. Now, can you talk your way out of that? Absolutely. But in general, society wants to tell men that girls are not superficial at all. They are. They are very superficial. If you're a guy you're looking to date, and I know I've got a lot of gentlemen over here who are about to get pretty frustrated at what I have to say, but social media is almost a prerequisite to date nowadays. And the reason for that is because a lot of it comes down to physical attraction, and you can for lack of a better word, game, date, whatever you want to call it, multiple girls at once with a good Instagram by taking nice photos of yourself, because a lot of it comes down to looks and how you look. A lot of these guys, I've seen guys who go to the gym, right? They get jacked, they look really muscular, they put a lot of effort into their bodies, and what'll happen is they'll take photos of themselves, but it'll be really low quality, crappy, and it won't do their effort any justice at all. And you'll get a guy who looks worse, but he takes better photos, and aesthetically he looks nicer because of the photo, and the girl will go with him. Guys, girls are quite superficial as far as looks go. A lot of you won't believe me when I say that, but guys, girls care a lot about, he's got to be tall, he's got to be jacked, he's got to make six figures. And society wants to tell men that, hey, there's nothing like that going on here. Girls are just looking for men with kind hearts. Yeah, okay, dude. The reality of this situation is that you met someone who made you feel deeply. You met someone who reciprocated what was happening within you. You met someone who wanted to hold your hand and spend time with you, and as a human being who cares deeply, and as a human being who has a heart that pours for others, you fell for them. This is hilarious because we're just setting up the I'm a victim phrasing just right off the bat, aren't we? We're just assuming, look at this, guys, right? As a human being who has a heart that pours for others, you fell for them. Yeah, because why would we not just instantaneously endow our viewers with good values? Maybe these girls aren't as nice. Maybe they aren't sugar, spice, and everything nice. You ever consider that? No, because the girl always has to be the fairy in the story. She always has to be the one who comes along with fairy dust, and she can do no wrong. When relationships end, gentlemen, have you ever noticed how one person always seems to come out smelling like dirt, and the other one always seems to come out smelling like roses? And typically, it's the girls that come out smelling like roses. And not only that, they're usually with another guy within a few months. See, guys think that when they break up with their girlfriend or when the relationship ends, they think that that's when the relationship ended. I've mentioned this on a couple of videos in the past, but I just want to make this quite clear, guys. It's like girls will have broken up with you before you even know it. Like, what they'll do is they'll emotionally check out of the relationship, they'll hunt for a better deal, and then when it comes time, they'll break it off, right? Or manipulate it so that you break it off. They'll cross a boundary or whatever the case may be so that they can pretend that they're the victim. Um, and then they'll run to the other guy who has been set up beforehand. And we as guys were like, wow, that really came out of the blue. That was really unexpected. I thought she really liked me. She broke up months ago, guys. Like, these girls are absolutely ruthless out here. I feel really bad for and I don't mean that in a condescending way, for the men who get out of long-term relationships, perhaps some older gentlemen, and then they come back into the dating scene and they see this. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, how am I supposed to justify that and go, oh, you know what, things are going great over here. Nothing negative to see at all. Guys, the dating landscape is absolutely terrible. We've talked about men who choose to go. We've got a wide spectrum of different types of men watching this channel, guys. We've got guys who are still actively dating. We've got guys in, surprisingly, quite a few of you in long-term relationships and stuff like that watching this channel. And the thing is, a lot of these things just blindside men. It doesn't particularly matter where you stand, right? Like, people come on my Patreon for existence, and I get such a wide variety of questions, and it's like, men are at all sorts of walks in life having issues with this crap. Absolutely. And the whole underlying theme, guys, is that men have been absolutely lied to. It is difficult to have a relationship, have a marriage, be single, and do your own thing without the correct information. It's like men are being handed this map that it doesn't lead you where you think it leads. See, I'll explain that in a bit in a minute, but let's just jump into this point real quick here. These kinds of dynamics can, in turn, make you feel like you aren't good enough. When you feel deeply for someone and they reciprocate feelings, but they don't want to commit, it is a very human reaction to feel like you are the sole reason why that commitment isn't being made. It hurts to think that someone likes you, but not enough. It hurts to think that someone who enjoys spending time with you, but not enough. It hurts to think that someone cares for you, but not enough. Almost can make you feel like maybe if you were just a little funnier, or a little more chill, or a little more of this, or a little more of that, that would have made them want to stay. And that's the thing. The introspection is important. These girls will break up with their partner, or he won't want to commit to her, and then they'll think, you know what? I'm a good girl. It wasn't my fault that he didn't want to commit to me. It's obviously his fault. And I mean, look at this, right? We'll just go a bit down here, right? And this is the next one. Uh, Whether that is because of their own circumstances or their own baggage, or because they are afraid of commitment, that is their healing and their growth and their decision that they have made for themselves, right? Because this is a relatively polite article, right? Typically they'll go, oh, he's just emotionally immature. He doesn't want to commit because he's emotionally immature. Real men would commit to a girl. You see? And look at this phrasing right here, guys. Look at this. They cannot deal with the responsibility. I mean, you heard it there first, guys. Girls are a responsibility, right? That's not even my words. It's like the commitment part. How it breaks up is like this, gentlemen. Men are the ones who choose to give their commitment away, and that's your power in a relationship. Okay, you can leverage commitment, and what do girls leverage? Girls leverage their affection, their intimacy, for time with a man. And what's happened is society will tell you that you, as a man, your commitment is worth nothing, so that you should just give it freely. In fact, not only should you give it freely, it is your responsibility to give away that as a man. Guys, let me be the first to tell you, it is not your responsibility to be giving away your time to people who do not deserve it. It is not your responsibility to be giving away your commitment to girls who are not worthy of a relationship. Guys, there are girls who are fit to be in a relationship, and there are girls who are not. And unfortunately, a lot of girls who are not. You can't, it's an age-old phrase at this point, gentlemen, but you cannot turn a 304 into a housewife. Okay? Housewives have to be, you can't make these things. A lot of these girls in society, they want to get run through, have a very high body count, and then think that they're still wife material after the fact. you're going to see a whole lot of issues because a lot of these younger girls, guys, have relied on OF or adult content, shall we say, online to make ends meet. That's what they've relied on. And then they want to turn around and they want to say, you know what? We're still deserving of marriage. We're still deserving to be. We'd make great girlfriends. It doesn't matter that we've done all of this thing in our past, gentlemen. We'd make great girlfriends. But anyway, gentlemen, we're going to leave today's video there. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a comment on your way out. What are your thoughts? What are your experiences? Make sure to share in the comments. If you disagree with anything I've said, feel free to drop a thought as well. That's what the comments are there for. As always, guys, subscribe if you're new or if you like the video. And if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description for some exclusive videos and other bits and pieces. So if you're interested in becoming a supporter, that's a great way to do so. But until next time, guys, peace.